Back to the book. He who exercises no forethought but makes light of his opponents is sure to be captured by them. So when you're saying, oh, we don't have nothing to fear here, we can take these guys, we can win that contract, we can beat the opponent, we can win, that's when you're going to be taken down. If soldiers are punished before they have grown attached to you, they will not prove submissive. And unless submissive, they will be practically useless. If, when the soldiers have become attached to you, punishments are not enforced, they will still be useless. Therefore, soldiers must be treated, in the first instance, with humanity, but kept under control by means of iron discipline. This is a certain road to victory. If in training soldiers, commands are habitually enforced, the army will be well disciplined. So now you do realize that Sun Tzu 2,500 years ago was leading humans. And if you came out of the gate before they knew you and you treated them bad, they were never going to work for you. They were never going to submit to what you want to do. And once they were attached to you, if you had punishments and now you had built enough respect and then you said you were going to punish them for something that they did, you set a certain standard and then you don't hold it, they're going to be equally useless.
Yeah, inconsistent.
Inconsistency.
I firmly believe in.
If in training soldiers' commands are habitually enforced, the army will be well disciplined. You got to stay consistent. And you got to remember that you're dealing with humans. When common soldiers are too strong and their officers are too weak, the result is insubordination. And this is something that I saw a couple times in my career, where I had a guy that worked for me who was a tough guy. This happened a couple times. Just a badass guy, super tough beast, hardcore, go-getter. And when they worked for me, man, I loved them. And they did anything. I would tell them to go, run through a brick wall. They would start running. And they would run through the brick wall. They'd figure it out. They'd get through that thing. Super hard. And then one guy, I went to another team, and he went on another deployment and got sent home from deployment because he was just too much to handle. And his support, I talked to him about it. He goes, my officers were weak. He literally said my officers were weak. Okay. And so here is like a caged animal that if he doesn't know who the boss is and he doesn't respect the boss, he's not going to listen to you. He was the alpha male, right? Yeah. And when he was the alpha male, he was doing whatever he wanted. He wasn't listening to these people that were in charge of him.
Yeah, what is that? Like a mix of he doesn't, I don't want to say look up to him, but there's a sense of that, right? Where if your leader is,
it's
you
just
look up
respect.
To him, you have that kind of ingrained respect, and then not to mention on top of that, you don't fear any real consequences from him because he's kind of weak. I can take whatever he can dish out, kind of thing. So it's both of those, you think?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one guy that this happened with, I taught him jiu-jitsu, and he was excited about it in a way that I've never seen anyone excited. Like super happy about knowing that you could choke people. And he would get into fights in the civilian world and come and give me these full debriefs and ask me for pointers and judgment. And that was, a warrior that liked to fight. Yeah. And he found out that you could grab people and then submit them. He was super excited about it.
Yes.
Like a little kid.
And I always say that that's kind of the risk you run with teaching people jiu-jitsu, because it is it's a superpower, essentially, because you don't have to learn that much for it to be effective in this huge way. So, what is it, Superman? With great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah. Yeah. Goes on to say, when the officers are too strong and the common soldiers too weak, the result is collapse. So when you put the super hardcore guy over that can't modulate his leadership, he can't back off and build people up before he starts to smash them, you're going to get collapse. And And that's something you definitely got to look out for, especially if you're a super strong leader and you come and take over a team that's been led by somebody that's weak. There's a chance that the players in the team are weak. And now you got to come in there and you got to build them up before you let loose your vicious leadership power, right? You can't just come in there with the iron fist and start dropping hammers. No, you need to say, hey, guys, all right, let's go. Let's build this team up. Then you can escalate your own force as your subordinates grow and become powerful themselves. But you don't want there to be a huge gap between your power and theirs, because they won't develop into it. They'll just be in the shadow. They won't grow in the shadow. You got to come down and let some light get to them and let them grow.
Right.